welcome to the Dwarven Tavern. I am your host, Lyric.
And I'm Josh.
And today we are doing another review. This time we are doing the game called True Colors. This is a game about figuring out more about what's going on in your friends' minds and how your friends think about you.
To see what their true colors truly are.
So this game is 3 to 6 players. It's ages 13 and up because it does have kind of
dicey stuff.
Yeah, not like super adult stuff, but there are some questions in there that, like for example, on the back of the box it actually says who would be most likely to get a tattoo in an unlikely place. That's teenage stuff. Like you could argue that's a teenager question. So I don't know how, like it doesn't say how long the game is. I guess it doesn't really.
It kind of depends on how many players you have and how many rounds you go, so it's a...
Yeah, well, I mean, it's got a total of 10 rounds, and it's got a defined round limit, but those rounds could be short, they could be long. There's a lot of... You can keep it as private as you want with your answers, or you can boast.
It took us about an hour, I would say, with 6 players.
Yeah. Now we're going to go over how to play the game. The object of the game is to earn the most points by correctly predicting how many votes you'll receive from other players for various questions asked. Each player chooses a color. This is your color throughout the game.
Remove any voting cards and avatars that are not in use by a player for this game and put them back in the box. Lay all active colors face up. Each player then takes 2 of each color except their own because you can't vote for yourself. Place the 3 guessing cards in reach of all players in order. Most, some, none. Place the ballot box in reach of all players. Choose one person to serve as the scorekeeper and have him or her write each player's initials on the score pad.
Choose a player to start the game. This player picks up a question card and reads the question aloud. The player may choose either side of the card. Players must secretly vote for who they think is the best fit for the question. Players must place exactly 2 votes in the ballot box per round. You can never vote for yourself. If you feel very strongly that one person is the best answer for the question, then put both voting cards with his or her color in the ballot box. If you think 2 players could be good answers, put 1 voting card for each player's color in the box. Remember to keep your vote a secret.
The guessing round begins. In the guessing round, each player must decide how many players they think voted for them based on the guessing card options. You may place your guess in any category regardless of the other player's guesses.
Now that everyone has placed their guesses, it's time to open the ballot box. The voting cards are laid on the table and counted. If you want to add some suspense to the reveal, the person who read the game card can open the ballot box and reveal the votes one at a time.
The scorekeeper marks each player's score for the round. Starting a new round, discard the question card in another pile. Place all voting cards from the last round face down within reach of all players. In order to keep previous votes a secret, all players place their remaining voting cards still in their hand to the pile. Mix them all up, flip them face up like the beginning of the game. Each player then takes 2 of each color except their own. Moving clockwise, the next player takes a game card and reads it aloud and the game continues.
After 10 rounds have been played, the scorekeeper tallies up everyone's total score. The player with the highest score wins the game. So there you have it. And honestly, it was a really fun game. We had quite a ball playing it. We had a variety of different players. It was 6 in total.
Yeah.
One of the things that I like about the cards is that they give you front and back questions that you can answer. You don't have to go with a specific color. They really are just saying like these are 2 different cards. One of the things that I liked about the cards were the variety of the questions. For example, one of the questions is, "You must have been a beautiful baby." Who? And what that means is who would have been a beautiful baby at the table. I gotta say, I was really adorable.
I don't know what I looked like as a kid. I don't remember those times.
Photos weren't around when you were a baby, you old man.
I don't look at photos of myself. I'm not that vain.
So you could either take this 2 ways. You could either keep the game quiet and just take a guess, or you can throw up an argument like what I just did. I was a beautiful baby. Everyone thinks that I'm beautiful now, so I must have been a beautiful baby. Or they can look at Josh and be like, wow, he's so ugly now. He must have been beautiful back then. You can state your case for if you want to push something in your favor or not. Like, for example, one of the cards is like, are you super athletic? Or this person ran a marathon, who would it be?
Me. Out of both of us, me.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I am lazy. I definitely would not run a marathon. And I would announce that and then put my marker on none so that I would get more points that way. So you can finagle the game whether you want it to be true or not. You know, there may be one day that I run a marathon. Not today, but maybe one day.
There's a lot of practice we have to do to get up to that point. It's a fun game. I like the communication between all the different players. It kind of looks, I don't know if I would say it looks complicated to start. I don't think that's the right word. But it's not. I mean, once we started playing, everything flowed well. Everything was actually relatively quick and a fun game to play once we started playing with each other and yelling at each other and arguing and whatnot. I enjoyed it. I would highly recommend this. I'm kind of waffling between like a 3 and a 4.
So a 3.5?
Yeah, I guess so. Everybody knows that's the best number anyway.
Right.
For D&D.
Hashtag D&D. One of the things that I thought we did well for the game when we were playing it is that I was the scorekeeper, but somebody else counted the cards.
Right.
And they would then announce the scores to me via the color. And I think that kept the game really well involved for everybody, because while I was the scorekeeper, I wasn't necessarily the main player. And you know, we would go around the table like you're supposed to, asking the questions, and I felt like they kept the game very balanced with every player. So the game is really simple. Its replayability is very high, but I feel like it was missing something of a je ne sais quoi. And I feel like the scoring may have been a little dicey, because you could always put your character on some and get at least 1 point instead of getting 0 if you went for most or none.
Well, I understand that, because then it doesn't turn it into a popularity contest of just going off of colors.
Yeah.
I can understand that. But all in all, what do you think?
I would agree with the 3.5. I think the replayability alone is what makes this a good game. I think that especially for a lot of people, we have found ourselves in a pretty big gaming group, and I think this game I don't think this game would be very good for like fewer people, because this says it's 3 to 6 players, and I feel
it's definitely more fun with more players.
Yeah, I feel like you would be missing out a lot if you were only playing with 3 players. The game would go especially fast with 3 players. But for like a game night or a party night or anything like that, I think this would be a good game to check out.
Yeah, me too.
So that is True Colors. You can check them out at gamesadultsplay.com.
Pressmantoy.com. Make sure you spell that correctly, or you're not going to want to show your parents that website.
So you can check them out, Games Adults Play or PressmanToys.com. I think it's a fun game to add to your...
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely it's a game night game.
So with that being said, that is 3.5 axes from the Dwarven Tavern. And I am Lyric.
And I'm Josh.
Why? And we wish for you to want for nothing but adventure. Please take those off your head. We wish for you to want for nothing but adventure. And at first I feared it,
then I charged.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Let the